Alright, so for anybody unfamiliar, this game is called Neva. It was developed by Nomada Studios. It is a spiritual successor to their first game, Greece. Has a lot of similar visual flair and thematic elements and style of gameplay, which we can get into if you're familiar with Greece. But I'll go ahead and I'll get the run going. The category I'm going to be running is any percent story mode. What that means is there's two different modes in the game. There's adventure mode, which is a more difficult normal gameplay with like a health bar. You can have failures and have to go back to checkpoints. But then there's story mode where you don't have a health bar. It's a lot more lenient. You can actually do some damage boosting through enemies without having to worry about dying. The story mode actually ends up being faster. There's also some accessibility features in the game that we get to take advantage of to make the run faster as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get this run started. We'll start talking about Neva. It is 3, 2, 1, and go. Now, timing for the run doesn't actually start until we gain movement, so we're not in control yet, so my timer on my live split hasn't started, but that's not something we have to worry about in an event setting. So here we introduced to a pair that we will be seeing for the rest of the game. This is our protagonist Alba and her little friend Neva, who is currently a puppy.
Neva.
So as we start here in summer, we're going to be kind of teaching Neva some lessons about life and bonding with this puppy. As you can see, Neva is very puppy-like, going to be playing with things, stopping, be curious about things. And you can probably already notice what some of the quickest movement tech in this game, and you're going to see a lot of is this dash jump. So what is this? It's a jump. You have a jump button that I'm doing right now. And then you also have a dash, which you can do in the midair, or you can roll on the ground. This is a scripted event, so Neva's always going to fall down there, and then you have to reassure Neva. And then Neva will jump right on over. You got this. I believe in you. Let's go. Great job, Neva. So whenever we're on a flat surface like this, the fastest way to move is going to be quick jump and dash, and then quickly jump and dash as soon as we land on the ground again. Come up here, Neva. Neva wants to check out that wall. Can't climb up, but you can jump over. Again, teaching things. Alright, let's go. So right now we're on a flat surface, but if we're ever on a sloped surface, we want to roll, because it is actually a little bit faster than doing the dash jumping. Here I want to make sure that I'm at the edge so I can help Neva. Neva's not going to quite make this jump. And we don't want Neva to fall. That would be slow. Gotcha, puppy. Let's go. You can trust me. You can depend on me, Neva. Now this next section is going to be just following this group of butterflies around. This is largely just a set piece area to show off how pretty the game is, and yes, this game is extremely beautiful. I accidentally left the butterflies back here. The butterflies make some pit stops along the way. You kind of just have to follow them and check in every time they stop to make them advance to the next section. They're going to stop right here. And right there. Now you do want to be careful with your climbing. These are all gaps here, so this platforming, you want to make sure you get it right, otherwise you fall down, waste a lot of time. You can pay attention to the grass to kind of know where the limitations of the platforms are, if you have trouble discerning them from the background. That's it for the butterfly section. Alright, let's go. Once again, we're rolling now because we're going downhill. This is a little bit faster than trying to do the jump dash. Hello, boar friends. I will say that the visual aesthetic and a lot of story elements in this game are reminiscent of Studio Ghibli movies. Hayao Miyazaki movies. One of the big ones would be Princess Mononoke for its story elements and themes. But this also has a lot of visual elements taken from Spirited Away, which we will see in the next chapter after this. This is our introduction to the main driving catalyst of the story, this corruption that has infected the forest. We're on our way to investigate. And here's where we learn that we have a sword. We have combat in this game. So, unlike Greece, this game has combat. So there will be some segments where we have to stop and fight a group of enemies before the game will allow us to proceed forward. Here I want to trigger a cutscene, so I want Neva to come over here. I'm going to jump down. And then start moving this way. Because you don't actually have to hit any of these things. You can just damage boost through all of it and save Neva. It's a lot faster. It's okay, Neva. You don't have to be too scared. And move on. Never had to deal with that part. Do have to deal with these, unfortunately. These are teaching us that you can air slash, so we're going to dash and hit these in the middle of the air. Come on, Neva. And then here, there should be a group of them that spawn while we're going across this zoomed in portion. that we can just damage boost through. That none of these actually matter. We don't have to hit any of these. Now here's going to be a forced section of combat. So I'm going to do 2 slashes and then a down smash, which we haven't been taught the down smash yet. And now all I have to do is jump up and slash to save Neva. Not terrible combat encounter there. In this next section, it's going to start getting darker. It's going to get into those little enemies that we just were introduced to, which we kind of call no faces. They look like No Face from Spirited Away. So if I believe correctly, the game notes refer to them as ghosts.
Neva.
So it is now nighttime. It's time to deal with these no-face ghosts. Phantoms, whatever they are. That's our introduction to these thorns, which are going to be the main gimmick of this area. If we take out these no faces, all the thorns disappear. Whoops, excellent, went up. That does it for those guys. Don't worry about that big thing back there. I'm sure that's not going to be an issue at any time. And here's where the game teaches you the down slash to get through that barrier and to take out this enemy. That down slash is our strongest attack right now. And again, the easiest combo to take out enemies quickly would be 2 normal slashes and then a down slash. So we kind of try to time our fights correctly so that we can hit them a couple times and then down slash the enemies. So I'm immediately going to go for this one up top, hit it a couple times, down slash. Hit this one a couple times, down slash. And then this one up top will spawn again, down slash it, and we are good to go. Good encounter. Neva's scared and hiding, so we gotta go let Neva know it's okay. It'll be alright. We gotcha. You saw, as long as I kept moving there, I was moving ahead of the thorns spawning, so I was able to get to the face without having to really worry about platforming. And now just try and jump dash my way across this big open field. Alright, here's one of the accessibility features I love about doing this part of the run. This is a chase sequence, which takes quite a while and is failable, but we can actually now skip chase sequences. We don't have to look at those at all anymore. So being able to skip those is an accessibility feature. And obviously it makes the run a lot faster. There will be a couple more of those that we'll skip in the game. Both of those are longer than that one, so it's nice to be able to skip. Here's where the game is teaching you that you can dodge through these things, like the thorns and enemies. But we already knew that because we were already dodging and damage boosting from the very beginning. Neva in a little bit of peril there, but it's nothing to worry about. I mean, obviously Neva's going to be fine. I want to encounter that guy on the left so I can quickly get to the other one as soon as he's dead. A third one's going to spawn, which I'm going to get over on the left. And then all I have to do is wait for the no-face to spawn in the middle. Each of the encounters has its own strategy to go fastest. I kind of just go with whatever I personally know to go fastest for me. But there are some strategies that are faster, depending on your skill level. Here, with any percent, since we do run on in-game time, we could, to save time, quit out back to menu and reload checkpoint, which would bring us back to this central area, so we didn't have to walk back here. But since we're just doing RTA marathon setting, I'm not going to be doing quit outs. I mean, that's kind of against the point at this juncture. Over here, there's a bunch of these spaces. It's a little bit of a jump dash type puzzle area. Not too difficult to figure out, though. Whoop. Forgot this one is a jump dash jump, which we're going to see a lot of going forward with large gaps like that. The greatest distance we can travel is going to be that jump dash jump chaining. Alright, Neva, let's go. It's worth noting there is no fall damage in this game, similar to Grease. So if there's areas where there is a floor well beneath you, you can just jump off and fall down. I'm gonna double jump dash this guy. Do it again for this guy. Whoop. Could have been faster. I accidentally jumped up onto that platform there. Come on, Neva, let's go. So here's a good example. This is a fall down area, so just keep on falling. You don't need to hit any of those platforms. Now, if you're familiar with Grease, you know the story progression of Grease is often with unlocking progression by going a couple different directions and then coming back to a hub. This is our first one of those. We're going to be going right first and then left. Once we come back to that monument at the hub, it'll let us progress to the next area. This is going to be a combat encounter. That guy kind of was mean and respawned on me on this platform. This worked out okay, though. This is a D restaurant for me, so this is what I think is probably best is like an example of what may happen in a marathon setting if I was making a lot of mistakes. But I would obviously be practiced. going into a marathon, so I wouldn't make a lot of mistakes. This is good to see like what a good estimate would be for the run, just in case something happened. So again, there's a jump dash jump to get through that top part because it's the widest distance. Now we went to the right, we've come back from the left. Can now proceed. Now here, intended you're supposed to hit this gong, go over to the left, kill this dude. Whoops. Actually didn't jump far enough. Kill this dude over here. And then go back down and change the gong. But if we do this jump correctly... Ah, we didn't quite make it. I'll give it one more shot. Just because I'm rusty. It's going to be a jump, dash, jump. Nope, didn't quite make it. You can make it across there without hitting the gong again. With a jump, dash, jump. It's very tight, the window for it. It just saves a little bit of time. Not a huge amount though, so it's not a big deal if you miss it and have to hit the gong. Here's our first boss fight we're about to come into. On story mode, pretty easy because again, we don't have a health bar, so we can damage boost our way through this. Here's that big dude. So I want to get into his hitbox here, do a couple ground pounds, get him stunned, some slashes, and then again some ground pounds of stun, a few more slashes should take him out here, and we are good to go. Pretty good fight. And that is the end of summer. Yeah, the final bosses at the end of each area are a nice little spectacle. Give us a nice little cutscene. My idea for a incentive for this particular run would be to show the final cutscene in the game. It is sad. There's fair warning. It's a sad cutscene, but it does complete your journey with Neva. I think that would be a nice incentive to have as an end of run. But we have progressed forward now. It's no longer summer, it is fall. And as you can see, Neva has grown up a bit. Neva's, I would say, a teenager at this point. A little playful, a little hot-headed. Striking out on her own a little bit. She's investigating that black corruption goo back there. And so we'll find her here. She can now take care of herself. She's having fun with one of those phantoms. Need to tell her to quit that and get moving. Here we do need to jump up here to progress. And we should be good to go. You notice there's a lot of different like pathways that I'm not taking in the levels. There are hidden collectibles to do like 100% run through of the game, which unlocks a hidden cutscene if you gather all of the flowers that are hidden throughout the game. So not doing that here in the 80% run, but it does unlock a nice little cutscene. Again, similar to the collectibles in Greece, how they unlock a cutscene. Here we get to see the giant boars once again. So Fall has a lot of platforming in it. This is where the game really starts to ramp up your platforming action. Now on this difficulty setting, if you fall off a platform and you take a death, you just respawn right back in where you fell down. So not very punishing to move off to fall off platforms, but it does lose a little bit of time. Here we have also been introduced to the ladders in the game, which are these walls of white flowers. And climbing them is not the fastest way. What you saw me doing there was some ladder tech, which is kind of similar to Ninja Gaiden ladder tech, where we will do some jumps up the ladders and re-grabs. So we're going to let go, jump, re-grab. So you see me double jump and re-grabbing off the ladders like that. Another example of it right here. It's faster than just slowly climbing up it. As you saw there, if we can time our jumps correctly, sometimes we can just skip ladders entirely. Here we want to make sure we're hitting the enemies off the right side. It's the fastest way to deal with this area. Neva's going to help us clear out the other side. And then be careful with the tiny platforms. Nobody likes a tiny platform. So anytime something like this happens, where the destructible areas split apart to different paths, we just kind of memorize what they are so we can anticipate them. So you saw me already jumping to the left before the platform was spawned in, because I knew that's where it was going to be. We'll have a cooler instance of that coming up a little bit later in this fall section. Here, unfortunately, we do have to wait for a cycle. Like, when I'm waiting for cycles like this is probably a good time for me to throw two donations, but this is the type of game where it's a lot of just pretty stuff to look at and just movement. Not a lot of speed, like tech to explain after the first large section of the game. So, it does lend well to just vibing, chatting with the host, letting the host say anything if they need to at most points in the run. But here we are going to be introduced to a new enemy type. This amalgamation type enemy with some multiple enemies strewn together. They do like to respawn and come back in a different area if you don't kill them fast enough, like that. He's probably only got like one hit left, yeah. But if you time it fast enough, you can kill them just before they respawn. Hey, BD, exactly. We're gonna have so many re-grabs in this run. Good to see you. Jump dashes and re-grabs. We're just playing Celeste, right? Yes, it's very easy to explain. But doing this is extremely, extremely difficult on the thumbs. Here's the part where, again, there's nothing but a fall beneath us, but we can take advantage of that, having no fall damage and knowing there's something there to just jump dash and save a little bit of time. Here's this flashy part I was talking about, where we know that part's going to break apart. So I just took advantage of that to just fall down and jump onto it right away. And this is another section where it's going to be waiting for the cycle of these to bob up and down. This jump dash jump again. If you don't learn it right away, you will learn it eventually because you won't be able to progress without it. He spawns on the right. Okay. So I'm going to get a few slashes in. Just do another one of those. Get a few more slashes in. Oh, that got the stun. Nice. That's the one cycle that you want to see so that they don't go away on you. That wasn't too bad, though. We almost got both of them. Now, when the ladder is like angled like this, I don't always do the re-grab jumps up the ladder because it's not always fast. Similar to whenever there's angled ground, we don't do the jump dash. Whoops. And just a little platforming section there that I like to do.
Neva.
Some of my favorite parts in this run are those platforming segments where if you get them real smooth, it just feels real good. Whoops. I accidentally did a directional jump instead of a neutral jump. When you're double jumping up this, you want to make sure you're doing neutral jumps so you don't dash way off the side of the ladder and fall down. But again, this is another one of those central hubs similar to Greece. So we did the left side, so now we gotta do the right side before we can progress. Now these flying enemies, what I want to do is double slash and then down to respawn, and it's actually quicker to just respawn because you can kill them in 3 hits and then respawn back on the platform and you're good to keep moving. Okay, the left over there is a trick. I want to be going to the right. The left is one of those collectible flowers. If we want to proceed, we want to go up here. Again, double slash, down. Double slash, down. And then we're free to keep going. And then once we get to the top of here, there's going to be another bigger interaction with the flying enemies. I believe there's 3 of them. It's going to split into 3 platforms as well. So I'm going to try and manage this as best as possible. I'll start... Oh, I wanted to start with that one, but he flew to the middle. That's different. I won't say it's never happened before because these things don't always do the same thing that you want them to do. I did bait this one back toward the middle. And that one came back toward the middle, so this should be pretty quick. Pretty good encounter overall. Yeah, the fly enemies are tough. Cool thing about this this pinnacle, though, is that now all we gotta do is just move left, and there's no fall damage, so... All the way down we go. Don't need to worry about ladders or anything. And we are there. Try to remember how this section goes. I think I already missed it. Oh, no, I didn't. I got it just in time. No, I didn't. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to waste a little bit of time here, unfortunately. Such is the D-Rust. Host, you have time for donations. For all the stuff moving and changing on you and trying to trick you, everything is very straightforward and fairly laid out. That is correct. Nothing is going to, like, really change as far as the platform mechanics. It's all very just making sure you do it all correctly the first time through. Alright, there, I made it that time. And we're rewarded with this, a big ladder. What a thrill. So there would be like a big cutscene chase here where we're climbing up a tree as it's falling apart. And if we fall down, we die and it resets the whole thing. It used to be a terrible part of the run because if you died, it wasted a lot of time. Now, we don't have to do that anymore because we can just skip sequence. So yeah. There's the second chase sequence that we skip. Thank you, developers, for including this. And now we progress into the middle section of Fall. This is what I call the Silent Hill Fall. Foggy Fall. We start to discover that Neva is actually a horror game at this point. And will only get more terrifying from here before it gets better again. I love the atmosphere of the music that the Berlinists put in this area. It's just very creepy. We've got the corrupted boars. Again, if you've seen the movie Princess Mononoke, you kind of knew that this was coming.
Neva.
Here, Neva is just kind of
Neva.
doing her thing. We do kind of have to wait for Neva here. Neva's going to come and see this boar and then need to be comforted. Now we can move forward. So this introduces these crawling enemies, which corrupt the boars or any other dead animals laying about. Come back. This first one we have to do this little cutscene where Neva does this mournful thing and kind of buries the boar under vegetation. There's a big old deer back there. Surely nothing bad will happen with the deer. That's our introduction to platforms where you gotta hit the bottom of them to open them up. And if we protect this boar well enough here, we don't actually end up having to fight it. So that saves us time. Nice. Let's go. Boar skipped. Boar skip indeed. These floating enemies aren't really a threat. They are going to teach us that if we hit them while we're in the air, we can recharge our air dash and our double jump. Which doesn't really matter right at this moment. Will matter later in the game, though. For some more difficult platforming segments. Up here we got some corrupted cranes. This is going to be our next introduction to a different corruption enemy. They don't really do much, they just kind of fly at you. And we just wait until they're exposed. But we do want to protect these from getting corrupted again. So just like the boar, we want to keep the enemies away from these two. Otherwise they will become re-corrupted and we'll have to go through all of that again. Waiting for them to fly at you before they open up to show the weakness. Down we go. This boar we cannot skip. This is a scripted one. That's why it's a little bit larger. We doesn't matter how fast we kill any of these. Eventually, they are just going to take over the boar. So this is kind of timed. I am going to lead the boar all the way to the right, though, because this is going to be the fastest way to proceed. We have to hit this one twice. So dash through, dash through. And now since we're on the right side of the screen, we can immediately progress. And here's our introduction to a new mechanic. So we can press R1 or the right bumper to call Neva and send Neva in any direction of our choosing. So like upward like that, or to the sides, or diagonally. So now we have full companionship with Neva. We are cooperating through the rest of the game.
Neva.
And as we progress, we'll unlock some more companionship type abilities. Use Neva to take out that dude blocking the ladder. Yes, press the button to throw dog. We do want to use Neva to take out that thing, so it doesn't take over that bird, and then we can progress immediately. Get up there, Alba. Alright. So I want to get... Oh, I didn't send it right. So it looks like we have to deal with this bird, unfortunately. I wanted to diagonal send Neva up that wall over there and then send it up the right wall, but this is fine. Not a huge waste of time. Can be a little bit finicky with the directions on the D-pad. Whether or not it's going to go diagonal or straight to the right or left. Up there is, again, just a flower that we can collect. So we don't need to worry about grabbing that flower over there. We can just keep on moving. Another accessibility feature is easier platforming. We can turn on for story mode. Normally these will close up a lot quicker and you have to kind of recharge opening them while you're going up the platforms. But they stay open so long with accessibility turned on, you don't have to worry about it. You can just open them once and you have plenty of time to progress through the platforms at your leisure. Giant boar here, pretty just straightforward. Wait for the weakness, wait for Neva, and then you'll see that little, if you look at Alba, you'll notice a little pulsing light show up around Alba. That lets us know when Neva's recharged and we can send Neva off once again. We're gonna have one more of these to do, and then we can just move on to the right. We're good to go. But being able to quickly time Neva as soon as you get that recharge on the pulse will be important later on for some of the puzzles we'll see. Oop. Went the wrong way. Want to go this way. Now when these are about to close, you see them start to shake like that. As you can see, I still had plenty of time to get across those even with making a mistake right at the very beginning. Here we're going to fall down. If I remember correctly, down here is the boss. Yes, this is the boss of the middle section of Fall. So, pretty straightforward. You're just going to be avoiding a few different attack types, punishing when you have a chance to hit. You've got that attack where they do the ground pound and the antlers spawn up from the ground. And eventually this one in the middle is going to spawn in, and we'll have a double boss. And here's where we're going to want to try and do some co-op with Neva so we can hit both at the same time when they're both vulnerable. So I'm going to send Neva to the right so I can hit this one, and Neva takes out the other one. And as long as we keep this up, they should die at the same time. One more should do it. And that's it. That's the optimal deer fight. But we are not done with the fall yet. It is time for Fall Part 3. This is the actual horror section of the game. What happened to Neva? Where's Neva at?
Neva? 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 Neva!
Alright, it is time to get dragged down into the underworld. This is easily my favorite visually in the game, this whole area. Though it is definitely a little scary. You notice that this segment is quite dark and there's not very much music. Again, this is all atmosphere to make it that much scary to progress through. But we found Neva, so it should be okay from here on out, right?
Neva.
I don't want to know what's going on in the background though. That looks a little like it might be an issue. Now we're thinking with portals though. So the gimmick of this area is not just darkness, but also portals. When we come out of a portal, it does recharge your double jump and dash. So, keep that in mind as we're progressing through portals. Yes, Portal is also a horror game. You are correct, BD. This encounter with these enemies here, which explode when you kill them, it just kind of exists. We have a big one now. These are a little bit harder to get one cycles on because they go back in the ground quicker. Oh no, I don't like that. Now we've got the Blood Moon. As we keep on descending down into the underworld, we are going to have another hub. This one I like to go left first. Both sides aren't really that hard, but left is literally all we got over here is just a combat encounter to deal with. So I like going over this side first just to get the combat encounter over the way. That's an ominous pillar. Shout out to the ominous pillar. Here's our combat encounter. Going to take place in this little hallway with portals. I want to avoid shooting these guys through the portals because it's just going to waste time. 2 ground pounds will take care of them. Oh, that one got away from me.
Neva.
And we proceed. This will bring us back to our hub, and now we're going to go to the right. All we got over on the right is just a little bit of a portal platforming puzzle. Not so much a puzzle, just a little platforming thing with portals to figure out. This isn't it, by the way. But you do want to make sure you go down so you don't get hit by that guy and get shot down to the bottom. Oh, look. We have a friend up there. Ooh. A not-so-friendly friend. Taking a look at our progress. Combat encounter. Yeah, it stinks when it warps away, because then you have to go down here to fight it. That's fine, though. Right, open up our ladder over on the right so we can proceed. I believe I did get ahead of myself, but we weren't at the part I was thinking of. But that part is coming up, the all of the portal puzzles. Believe it or not, in my PB, I lost a ton of time right here in this segment because I kept going for a quick strat to do this part, and I'm just not going to do that. I don't know. I'll give it one try. See. What I was trying to do is hit this and then hit it again and then try and get on top. But if we hit that one once, hit this one once, now we should be able to warp over to this side. Use Neva like that. Down we go. That's the more intended way to do the puzzle. As you can see, I just saved a lot of time. So PB is very possible in this run. Even with all those mistakes on a D-Rust. I just got very locked in with wanting to do that trick on that puzzle in my PB. I got very frustrated with it and just lost a lot of time. Welcome to Total Darkness. Now we got Flashlight Neva. But Neva joining us as part of our body like this also charges, it makes our attack more powerful. You see Neva popping out with our slash. It makes our slash stronger. So what we want to do in combat is keep calling Neva back to us. So that when Neva's working with us in that slash, we can down enemies much quicker. Especially if we're fighting a boss. That one is scripted. We do have to use Neva to get past that one, but we don't have to here.
Neva.
I remember, I don't think I actually have to do this portal for anything. Just move forward. It's easy to get lost in this area because there is a branching path to go find a flower in the darkness. I believe it was off to the left back there. Here's what I was thinking of. So go through that one, dash through this one, and then you're off to the right. And then here I want to make sure I get my dash. I kind of messed it up. That's alright. I was trying to anticipate when I would hit this segment right here, so I could just immediately dash across. Forgot what the timing was though. Again, this is just a D-rest. As you saw, we kind of want to avoid hitting those enemies into the portals because having them fall through and stagger just wastes a lot of time. But you can also see if we have Neva with us, we can one cycle those dudes pretty easily because they get staggered very quick by the powered up attack of Neva's Slash. Okay, to proceed here, we do have to do a little bit more thinking with portals. And just move on forward. Time for the final boss of this area. You guessed it, it's that big shadowy, not Neva. So with this boss, all we gotta really do is just wait for it to go through all of its attack cycles until it gives us an opening to attack, which is this one right here. Thank you, Maria. Appreciate the good luck. Get on story mode. Doesn't really matter if we take hits here because we don't have a health bar. So this really is a lot of just waiting for the cycles to go through. I believe this is all pretty much just scripted. I think we'll have to do that one more time and he should be dead. I do know how to dodge all these attacks, but I'm just being lazy. This should be it here. And that's it for the fall. I appreciate you lurking, Marie. It was all just a nightmare. Does that underworld really exist? Never know. But it is time for winter. This has adult Neva. We are now riding on adult Neva. And with Neva, we've got the jump and the dash. And so again, we're going to be jump dashing as our fastest movement. Well-timed dismount there so that we can quickly get up here to this top platform. And then call Neva back to us. Whoops. And again, the quickest way to clear out them enemies, just make sure you keep calling Neva so Neva's doing Neva slashes with you. And you're good to go. Whoops. Actually jumped off a little bit late there. It's fine though, just not a big time loss. Again, jump, dash, jump. For all the large gaps. And on a decline, we're just gonna roll. Same for an incline. New enemy here. Gotta jump over them and hit them while they're on the other side of the block. If we don't get this ground pound just right, they will go to the opposite side where we can't hit them and waste time. So it's important you time that down slash just right. And here we're going to get our introduction to the final boss of the game. This is the Queen of the Corruption. It's not time to fight her, though. We still got a ways to go before we face the Queen of the Corruption. This portion again functions as another one of those hubs. We're going to go right first because this one actually has story in it. And the story wants you to go right before you go left to progress correctly. Who was that dashing fellow back there? Boomst indeed. You see me just like dashing all the way to the right, skipping some stuff. Again, there's platforms where all they do is lead to those hidden flowers to collect, and I'm not worrying about that in this run. Going across this icy lake shows us that reflection. That's going to be the gimmick of this side of the area, is the reflections. Since we're in story mode, it's not going to be as big of a deal. We'll still be able to see the enemies mostly normal. But if we were playing in adventure mode, or before this was patched to be a little easier, you wouldn't be able to see these enemies at all on the top. You had to look in the water to know what you needed to attack. And that is going to extend to the platforming in this area as well. These platforms here, there wouldn't be anything visible above before until you jump on them and they light up like that. You'd have to use the reference in the reflection in the water to know where you need to jump. Here we've got a mirror. We're actually controlling Neva and Alba on the left side of the screen, but what we want to be looking at is the right side of the screen. We can still see them, as you can see a little bit, because we're in story mode on the left side. But they're only fully visible on the right side in the mirror. And since they're in the mirror and you're looking at the mirror, your controls would be reversed when you're trying to do that. Real fun area. Legitimately, I think all of this was very fun the first time I played it casually. Really cool. Greece has an area similar to this toward the end of it. Just gonna take my time across these platforms, play it safe. Better than taking a fall. Like that. Well, didn't waste time. I didn't fall, but... Just gotta remember to jump, dash, jump. Did you get your jump, dash, jump in today? Because we are certainly not done jump, dash, jumping. Jump, dash, jump is the name of the game. Also, regrabs. Alright, we're done with the right. Now it's time to go all the way to the left. There is going to be some story stuff while we're getting there. But, yeah, this is another part where I would just be like, hey, host, got a bunch of stuff you want to talk about for like a couple minutes? Because, I don't know. While this area is beautiful, if you're not going to try and like grab those extra flowers or any of that, it's just a lot of dashing left and right. So you have to backtrack all the way back to the middle and then all the way to the left. Nice thing about when you're riding adult Neva in this section is this jump dash is a lot easier to do than when you're just controlling Alba. So this is not as hard on my thumb. This is kind of a little bit of a break, to be honest. I mean, look at this other wolf. He's so cool. He's so cool. Shadow of the Wolf indeed. So cool. And he's edgy. It's like one of his antlers is broken off. He's dark. Mysterious. So cool. It's time for the left side here, which is the platform puzzle side of it. The main gimmick in this area is going to be blocks that you can destroy and then they reform. Which will make more sense in a moment. The atmosphere down here is super creepy. With the light choral elements in the music. Yeah, we can destroy blocks, and then they're gonna reconstitute themselves.
Neva.
So puzzles in this area are gonna revolve around timing destroying blocks correctly. Like doing this and saving a little bit of time by doing that ground pound to destroy that one. So I can immediately jump up and get across before it respawns in. Here again, this one's going to be a little bit different. Take out the bottom. I'm going to take out the middle. Use this one as a platform. Take out top. Easy peasy. That particular encounter I don't really have a super fast strat for. I just kind of try and take them out as quick as I can. So I kind of just focus on one side then focus on the other. This is the hardest one of these block puzzle segments in the game. Wait for the pulse, then jump dash before that one respawns. That is much tighter than I just made it look. Like, you have to keep your eye on that pulse so that you immediately send Neva and jump across before it spawns. And now here we're going to use this block to get her to this ladder. And just like that, we're essentially done with this left side area. We're almost done with this first area of winter. Yeah, we're just going to be jumping and re-grabbing all the way back up here. And then call Neva. Once we get back to the middle, we'll be able to finish up our little bit of story here in this area with meeting now dubbed Shadow the Wolf. Because I don't believe it actually has a name in the game. But we're just gonna call him Shadow because he's cool. Hey Kasaki, good to see you. Exactly, we're world building. BD just named one of the characters in the game. We're on our way to meet him one more time. He needs our help. So, we're going to help out Shadow the Wolf here. Getting attacked by these dudes. Thankfully, they are very easy to take care of with Neva Slash. Again, very scripted encounter. We did that pretty cleanly. Neva has a new boyfriend now, Shadow the Wolf. Whoops. Jump, dash, jump. Let's keep on saying it because that's what most of the rest of this is just jump, dash, jump. But no, legitimately though, the hardest platforming is coming up right here in front of us. It involves these enemies that you hit, and they give you a boost into the air when you hit them. Now, pre-patch, this was very difficult. They didn't give you a lot of a boost, so it was very tight to make all these jumps. Post-patch, they give you a much bigger boost, so it's a little easier to do all this. When I did this casually, this part right here, and then right above this, took me forever to figure out how to do. Because I just could not get the rhythm right, or enough height off of these boosts. So, I did leave that in my Steam review, and I guess they read the Steam reviews, because they made this section easier, and thank you so much. I believe in accessibility in games. This definitely made it much more accessible. Here we want to use this boost to get over top of this one so we can hit it on the other side. But on this one we can use the other guy is a little bit shorter. Yeah, we are schmoovin'. We're schmoovin' right along. That's the way you want that encounter to look. And then this part, again, was so scary pre-patch. Still scary now because there's nothing below you. So if you take a fall here, you lose a lot of time. But as long as you time your jumps and your dashes right, you kind of have plenty of time to get across here now. You just want to be careful you don't accidentally press down and do a down slash into the pit below. That's embarrassing. Don't do that. Good time for a sippy here. This is auto climbing. I'm not actually controlling right here. This is a cutscene. And we are about to encounter the Queen of the Corruption once more. Now, this terrifying creature would be our third chase sequence in the game, but again, you can skip it. Free time save. So it's going to try and devour us here. But we are saved by Shadow the Wolf, because he's so cool. And Neva actually agrees, because in this cutscene that we just skipped, Neva goes off to hang out with Shadow the Wolf. Going into this final section of Winter, we're alone. We are on our way to face off with the Queen of the Corruption. At the top of this snowy peak, where nothing lives. Bereft of life. So this is a good time to talk about the themes of the game that we've probably noticed. We've gone through all of the seasons. It deals with themes of life and death, and the cycle of life and death. So this queen of the corruption, and the corruption is symbolic of death. The queen is a personification of death. And we in Neva are a life struggling to survive. This particular encounter, since we don't have Neva anymore, can be difficult to do quickly, I should say. Those first two we got pretty good. But you can see these guys take 2 down slashes now instead of 1. That went fairly well. Want to hit this guy over to the middle so that we can get him together with this guy. Not too bad. I love the platforming in this section because it's pure platforming. So it's very satisfying to do all of the stuff in this section of the game cleanly. Jump, dash, jump. Jump, dash, jump. Oh, almost went over to the left. I believe there's another flower you can gather there, if I remember correctly. And I know there's one here. Here this can be tricky on controller. I just want to do a neutral and let myself fall enough so I don't re-grab the wall automatically. Alba does have kind of like magnet hands for these ladders. So you want to make sure that you don't press the direction toward the ladder. You do a neutral fall there, otherwise Alba will re-grab. I've heard it's easier to do that on keyboard. Alba won't do the re-grab. Here's our last like major enemy encounter. It's gonna be a couple of these dudes. Again, we're just trying to get them down as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, this guy is probably going to end up going backwards to the left. I hope he didn't go too far, though. That's nice. But we don't want him to go too far to the left because the ladder is going to spawn in on the right. Ooh, good. We got him just before he warped away again. I love the horns and the music in this segment. Whoops. Didn't mean to hit that. I want that to go down. We're going to jump over and then hit this guy into the pit. Go up. Double slash, then down. Respawn, so we can go over, hit this guy into the pit. Rinse and repeat. Here we want to bait this guy to come over to us. And then we're going to bait him to come over to the right. And this is the last real platforming segment right here. We are almost done with the game. There's going to be these enemies that coming out of the walls with blocks dropping down to try and hit us off, and we fall down. But we're too good. That's not going to be an issue for us. Even if we get hit, as long as you don't panic and waste your dashes and double jumps, it's not a big deal. You can just damage boost through it like I just did there at the top. And here we go. This is it. We're going to hit the last gong and ascend to the final boss to fight the Queen of Corruption. This fight is RNG. She's going to be doing a bunch of stuff which could waste time. Like zipping across the screen. There's also a flying attack she can do. So if she decides to dash across the platform or to do that flying attack, it wastes some time. Ideally, what we want to see is none of that, so we can just keep getting behind her and hitting her weak point, which is, you know, her backside. Make more sense when we get there. Here, oh, I was about to say I'm about to just start pressing up, and yeah, we're gonna interrupt the Queen of Corruption's meal. She's not gonna be too happy about it. We're gonna have a fight. Enjoy. Also, this music is incredible for this boss fight. It's unfortunate we don't get to hear as much of it as we would casually, because we're going to be killing her pretty fast, comparatively. Let's kill death, why don't we? Oh, they've got the dash and the flying attack. As you can see, she can parry your attacks if you're in front of her. This was going real well, and then she did a couple dashes and flying attacks, unfortunately. Still pretty quick.
Neva.
So now we got Neva with us. We want to make sure we're doing Neva slashes. I anticipated that dodge. That was nice. Very quick second stage. And that is the final boss. There's a cutscene that's about to trigger. I get to skip the cutscene. Trust me, we don't really want to watch this in a marathon, so we're going to skip this cutscene. Plus, it just wastes time to watch it anyway. And that's it. That's the end of winter. We're in the final part of the game. This is spring, the epilogue, I should say, of the game. Here with Neva. We've defeated the corruption. Everything is beautiful once more. Everything is alive. Happy. And would you look at that? Neva has had a puppy.
Bruma. Bruma.
Wake up, Bruma. We've got stuff to do. This final segment, it's short.
Bruma.
We're just going to be
Bruma.
doing a lot of the same stuff we did at the very beginning of the game with Neva.
Bruma.
Just kind of leading Bruma around.
Bruma.
Hit some triggers that will allow us to progress forward.
Bruma.
So first one over there, lead Bruma up there because Bruma wants to munch on something up there on top of that. Now Bruma's got to play with this deer. It's super cute.
Bruma. 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 Bruma.
As we're dashing here, want to make sure we wake up Neva.
Bruma.
There we go.
Bruma.
This is so heckin' cute. I love this portion of the game. This segment is really our reward for beating the game. Because again, the incentive for the run would be to show the final cutscene after this, which
Bruma.
unfortunately is sad.
Bruma. Bruma.
So I am going to show it as part of this,
Bruma.
just so I have it in the recording.
Bruma. Bruma.
But normally I wouldn't watch it. I would normally just skip straight to credits when I'm done with a run. I've cried enough times. So if you're watching this now and you don't like animals in peril or
Bruma.
animals being hurt, stuff like that, you may not like it. You may want to not want to watch the cutscene.
Bruma.
If you'd like to have your heart completely smashed to pieces,
Bruma.
have tissues ready. Because, ooh, it's coming. Worth noting that this cutscene is the exact same cutscene that you see at the beginning of the game, which we skipped. Which again is leading into the themes being the cycle of life. Beginning and an end, and then a beginning again. Time is going to be when I touch this bird that just fell down out of the sky. This bird that has been corrupted. That's time. Again, I'm gonna let this play out. Big feels incoming, yes. I'm sorry. And I'm not gonna talk, just enjoy. And I'll probably be crying by the end of it. That's Neva, everybody. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for GG's. This was a PB.